Hi, I'm Chuck Winnick. I'm a reenactor. Funny clothes probably gave it away, huh? And what I did for 36 years in the classroom was I tried to bring history to life by dressing the part, playing the music in the background for whatever time period and culture we were studying, having my students handle realia, manipulatives, that's fancy teacher talk for stuff you can touch, to basically make it a kid-friendly museum and to immerse my students in the whole experience of studying the past. And I'm not in the classroom anymore, so I have, after 36 years, an entire room full of garb at the house. It's garb, not costumes. And I have a passion for bringing the past to life. That's still there. And I have a desire to preserve landmarks or to play history detective. And what I'm involved in right now is a very pretentious sounding mission, Odyssey, where I will go to the different missions in Alta California and the Asistencias. Those are the spin-off missions, that we're supposed to grow up to become missions. That I'm also visiting the Estancias, or the ranchos that help support the missions, at least the ones I can find records of, and the presidios, the places where the soldados de cuerda, the leather coat soldiers, stood guard to protect Spanish interests. Well, what I'm doing today is, I heard there was an Asistencia called San Marcos, which was established as a spin-off of Mission Santa Barbara. And from what I've been researching, there isn't even a plaque, but I know where it is. So I'm on my way to go find it, and at least take pictures of, if anything, the trees and the bushes that are growing there, or the golf course that's there. So I hope you'll stick with me on this journey. To get there, I'm taking the 154, which will take me through San Marcos Pass to get to San Marcos. And this particular pass has a bit of history behind it. On Christmas Day in 1846, during the Mexican War, the Mexican Army waited to ambush American forces of John C. Fremont at Gaviota Pass. Fremont learned of the plans and instead crossed the San Marcos Pass to capture a largely deserted Santa Barbara. Now this is Estancia, or Asistencia, San Marcos. And it was named for one of the padres from the Santa Barbara mission, Marcos Amistoy. It, according to some descriptions, it was an Asistencia. It had a chapel, it had living quarters for the padres, it had a granary, and there were a number of other things like wine press. There was a kiln. So you've got production going on here, okay? And there's that whole thing about raising food for the missions, and ultimately some of that food is going to be going to the Presidio. Extending between the San Rafael Mountains and the Santa Ynez River, there was about 35,000 acres to raise cattle on, which bore the brand of Mission Santa Barbara. Now, 22 miles away from Mission Santa Barbara, the Asistencia was established, and what's about another 17 miles to Mission Santa Ynez, where that's going to get established. But there's a little interesting touch here. About 8 miles away along the road between Estancia or Asistencia San Marcos and Mission Santa Barbara is a sacred Chumash site, the Chumash Painted Cave. I haven't found any records of what happened here during the Chumash Revolt, which began nearby at Santa Ynez in 1824. What we're going to do is we're going to stop at the Chumash Painted Cave, which is on the way, and it is, okay, if you want to be nice about it, it's just off of Highway 154, the Chumash Highway, except that it's reachable by basically a bunch of twisty roads. And there it is. Well, there's the road to get there. Don't often see signs that say 10 miles per hour. We have a sea of clouds, and under that sea is the Pacific Ocean, and we've got Channel Islands peeking out from under the clouds. I was hiking around near the Chumash Painted Cave, and I found this. So I've put my anthropologist hat back on and my archaeologist hat back on, because now we're going to talk about the Chumash. And these were the people who, they were a hunter-gatherer society, a seagoing society, and they lived in the areas that were controlled by missions San Buenaventura and Santa Barbara and Santa Ynez, and I believe La Purísima. And one of the things that was not really understood was Chumash religion and Chumash mythology. And there were, from what I'd heard, about a dozen of these caves located really high up in the mountains. This one's the Painted Cave. That's a little bit from Santa Barbara, between Santa Barbara and Santa Ynez. And in these caves were paintings like the ones up there that you might be able to see, and I'll show you some clips. Some of these are geometric shapes, some of them are symbols, and they're painted with a paint made with ground minerals and mixed possibly, well, sometimes with blood, sometimes with the oil of animals or seeds, and quite resilient. I mean, they're staying there. And unfortunately, behind me, the cave had to be blocked up because vandalism takes place. And in a way, that was probably happening to the Chumash while they were being forced into Christianity. That's a good spot. So I'm having another experience, kind of like at Paula, felt like sacred ground. and it was sacred. You know, it's just not my faith, but you could definitely feel it. I teared up again, you know. Guess I'm a big crybaby about this stuff, but it was really awesome, and now I want to find other sites. Driving between those rocks made me think of Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons. Okay, back to Rancho San Marcos. Mexico got its independence from Spain. Within a decade, secularization is starting to happen to a lot of the mission lands. And when Pio Pico becomes governor, he pretty much is conducting a fire sale. And what he ended up doing with the 35,000 acres of what was going to become Rancho San Marcos is that was sold to Nicholas Den. Actually, it was Nicholas and his brother Richard who purchased the secularized Asistencia San Marcos together for the price of $750 in gold. And the 35,000 acre rancho was mapped out on a diseño. They both went on to be property holders in Santa Barbara County and also were involved in the politics of the area. Nicholas died in 1862, leaving 10 children. His brother Richard administered to Rancho San Marcos until 1895. So you're hearing a lot of background noise here. Hey, that's the 154, the Chumash Highway, and this is what's left of the rancho. Yes, those are sand traps down there. It's a golf course, and there isn't even a marker. So much for the piece of history. Well, we now have 7 missions out of the way, and we have, I believe, 6 Asistencias and a couple of Estancias, 2 Presidios. So onward to Mission Santa Ynez, about 17 miles away. I hope you stick with me.